Well, I am going to start because I'm not sure who's coming and who isn't, so might be talking to myself, but that's fine. I'll do that anyway. So this is a basics of macrame, how to do the basic stitches, and then also, just a second while I turn my volume off on the computer, how to do the basic stitches and knots, sorry, and then a key ring to follow. I'll record it anyway and I'll put it in the videos on the group, and then tomorrow, because we've got another session for macrame in the morning at 11 AM, tomorrow I'll maybe do a different key ring so that there's a couple of different options there for you to look at. But let's run through the basics anyway. You can attach macrame to pretty much anything. Look, this is a standard hook that you would see for wall hangings and plant pot holders and that kind of thing. I'm going to use that actually for the practice knots, and then these are just some different examples of keyring type findings that you can get on. Is there another one in there? Yeah, I thought there was. So as you can see, they're all slightly different sizes and shapes. You could actually use that bit as well to do your macrame on just the normal ring. It doesn't have to be like something like this, but yeah, all different shapes and sizes, but for the purposes of our keyring today, I will be using that one because we need to attach 6 cords for the keyring, and that's plenty of room across there to attach them. Now, if, for example, you only have something like this and you're going to struggle to get 6 cords on it, there is a way of still doing it. All you do is you attach 1 cord to this part of the ring, and then you pull that cord out to the sides, and that then becomes your bar effectively for attaching your other cords to. So all is not lost if you haven't got anything other than a tiny little ring. So let's get started with some basic stitches. Other equipment you are going to need: a pair of scissors obviously, and I've got this macrame board which is on the back. It's all busy Lizzy, so it's got measurements in inches on it, lots of little slots down the side so that you can stick your cords in there to keep them out of the way if you want to. I never use them because I find them quite annoying, to be honest. And when I'm using this, I've got this table which tilts up and down, so it puts my macrame sort of flat in front of my face while I'm working on it. Move out of the way, cat. I'm not having any more cat interference. Or you can just use the board, pin your finding to the board, and then work on it and use the pins to hold it down. So for the practice, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to push that to one side. I'm going to use this ring. It's quite thick, so it is going to take up some of these cords. So for the practice, what I've done is I've cut 4 cords of around about 50 centimeters. Now, 9 times out of 10 when you do macrame, when you attach the cords, you fold them in half like so, and then find the center, and that's the bit that you will attach to the whatever you're doing your macrame on. So there are usual methods of mounting your cords in the first place. There are 2 different ones. This one, which is a standard, you hold your cord in half, push it through the ring like so, and then bring the 2 ends of the cord through like so, and pull it cinch it tight.
This might answer your question. Alex.
Alexa, quiet. Don't know what I said that she made her think I was speaking in her name. So that is what they call a lark's head knot. You can also do a reverse lark's head knot, which is instead of putting the cord down through, you bring it up through and then bring those ends through like so and pull it tight. Now, depending on what kind of pattern you're doing, one may look better than the other. I'm just going to leave these like this because it doesn't matter for our practice, but just for the sake of OCD and what have you, I will do 2 reverse with 2 normal lark's head knots on the outside, because all these cords are for is for doing some practice on, so you can get the hang of the basic knots. Last one. And once I've got all my cords attached and cinched up nicely, what I want to do is secure this down. That's where your sellotape comes in. It makes it a lot easier to work if your work is fixed. So just sellotape it down in position to keep you on the straight and narrow. So that's it, it's not going to move now. And now I can start working on these cords. So I'm using here 3mm MACRAME cotton cord, just because it's, you know, a decent size for demonstrating, etc. So I'm gonna maybe just zoom in a smidge like that. So bread and butter knots, which are in a lot of patterns. If you know how to do these 2 basic knots that I'm going to show you now, you can make a lot of different patterns that you'll see. So the one thing to say about the making the knots is just be conscious of which are your working cords and which are your filler cords, because it makes a difference to how your work lies. When I first started doing macrame, I could not get the hang of it, and then one day the penny dropped. I was just keeping the tension on the wrong piece of the cord when I was tightening the knots up, and that's why it just looked an absolute mess. But what we're going to do to start with is a square knot. So a square knot will always involve 4 cords. Doesn't matter that they're in a different configuration. So to start a square knot, there is either a left square knot or a right square knot, and we'll do one of each just for demonstration purposes. So to make a left square knot, you pick up the far left cord of your set of 4 and lay it over. These 2 are going to be your filler cords. These 2 here are your working cords. So you lay that one down, you bring this one over the top and then push it under and bring it up through like that. So you go over the top of your left cord, underneath your filler cords, and then bring it up between the left cord and the filler cords. And then you start pulling these. Now, as you can see, what you need to do is keep some tension on your filler cords. And then cinch those up like that. That's half, that's a left half square knot that we've just done there. To finish it off, we need to do a right half square knot. So you bring your right cord over the top first, down over the top of the right cord, then push the end up through. You go in between the filler cords and the right hand cord with that one. Keep the tension on the filler cords and cinch it up. That is one square knot completed. And as you can see, it's got a bump on the left hand side. That's why it's called a left hand square knot. To do a right hand square knot, you do the same but in reverse. This time you start with the right hand cord, you bring it over your two filler cords like so, you get your left cord.
I don't know that one.
Alexa, quiet. Take the left cord, push it underneath the filler cords and bring it up in between the filler cords and the right cord. Start pulling it up, keep the tension on the filler cords and cinch it up. Now here you've got half right square knot. So now you do a half left to finish it off. No, hang on. Yeah, half left to finish it off. So you bring your left cord over the top, bring this one down over the top of them and push it up and under, bring it out between the two and tension on the filler cords, cinch it up. And on that one you'll see that the bump is on the right hand side. That's why it's called a right hand square knot. So if you're doing a pattern with alternating square knots, so you could just carry on down doing square knots, but obviously that means that those four cords and those four cords aren't joined together. Alternating square knots, which is in many patterns, what you would do is you would keep all your square knots in the same configuration. So in my case, I tend to start with a left hand square knot. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the two outside cords on each side off and away, and then you've got four cords left in the middle there to make your alternating square knot. So I'm going to bring that one over. We're going to bring this one over the top, push it up through between those two, and then keep the tension on the filler cords, cinch it up. Finish off your square knot with the right hand over there, push it up through them two between the filler and the right hand side and cinch it up. And then we'll go back, we'll push them that way again, alternating square knots. We're going back to doing some more square knots here. So I always hold my filler cords, lay that one over, push that one down, and then under and up, hold my filler cords, and to keep your filler cords flat in order to keep the shape of your work. I'm just going to do another left one because we're on alternating, and that is what you would normally do. So we'll go down, we'll go over, under and up, up, and then over, under, up. Hold the filler cords to keep the tension good and cinch it up. You can pull these knots quite tight, and as you can see, that's the lovely little kind of pattern that you would get with alternating square knots. Now, you don't have to do it in a straight line. You could start with 5 square knots, drop it down to 4, to 3, to 2, to 1, and you'll have that lovely textured pattern in a nice diamond shape at the top of your work. So that is a square knot. The other one, which is main bread and butter, if you like, is the double half hitch knot. So for a double half hitch knot, what you would do is choose a filler cord. It usually tells you whether you're taking the left, the right, or one of the middle ones. For this example, because I've got more cord available in the middle here, I'm going to use the middle ones as my filler cord. So there's my 2 center cords, and they're both going to be filler cords. One's going to go that way and one's going to go that way. Now with a double half hitch knot, you can hold that filler cord in whatever direction you want, as long as you keep just a gentle tension on it, so that these cords coil around that one. You don't want to let that one start curling, because otherwise it just won't look right. But in this particular case, we'll do a diagonal. So what we'll do is we'll hold that in the general direction that we want it to go. So like that, for example. We'll take up the first cord, and literally all you do is put the cord over and bring it up. Now keep the tension on your filler cord and pull that one. This is the rope that curls, none of the others. Cinch it up with your thumbnail or whatever. That's a single hitch. We're doing a double half hitch, so we do that exact same thing one more time, and there we have one double half hitch knot. This is what creates all those lines that you see in macrame. Now obviously this is coming down on a diagonal, so there will be a bit of slack up here. Pick up your next cord, repeat the process. Over, under, pull it up. You keep your filler cord in the direction you want it to go. Doesn't matter if there's a bit of slack thread there. Same again. Over, under, pull it up through. Cinch it, pull it like that. And then your final cord. Over, under. You see there? If I just tightened that, it just wouldn't look right. What you have to do is keep the tension on the filler cord. Pull that. That's a single. And then there we've got a double. So there you see, these ones are all coming out into the middle, which is fine, just for demonstration purposes. Then you can obviously, you can do the same there. You could make it go that way, or you can do them straight across if you want to, or you can actually do them vertically. So if it was that one, for example, this is my filler cord, so I'm going to go over, under and through, and pull it. There's one. Over, under and through, and now I'm going to cinch that one up. And you see these cords will stick out, doesn't matter, it's fine. As long as you keep that one in the direction you want it to go, that's where your line will show. So another one, And as you can see, then you've got a line down the outside in a vertical. Might as well finish off that last one, just if I can get hold of it, just because it's there. Now obviously, because these were really short cords, just simply for practicing these different stitches, that's it, we're kind of done. But that is your square knot, your double half hitch knots, diagonal, double half hitch, vertical. So you can, with those two knots, you can make the vast majority of the things that you will find on YouTube and that kind of thing. Oh, just one point to note. If you've seen those lovely kind of spirals, they are very, very simple to do. For a spiral, all you would need to do is you're doing a square knot, and if you choose to do a left hand square knot, for example, I mean obviously these cords are super short, but oh, missed one. What you do is say a left hand square knot, e.g. Then you repeat it and you do another left hand. You just basically keep doing either a left or a right hand half square knot for as long as you want it to be. It'll naturally start to spiral. You'll have to turn the cord as you're working on it, but that's how you'd make those spirals. It's basically just one half of a square knot, and whether that be left or right is entirely up to you. It'll change the direction of the spiral. But that's it. That is the basics. There are a couple of gathering knots. One is just like an overhand knot, which is how you would normally tie a knot, and then a wrapping knot, which is kind of also fairly standard bread and butter macrame stuff, at which I will show you when we get onto this keyring. So for the keyring, I am actually going to use the macrame board. Oops. Let's see, make sure we're in the picture. So I'll use one of them there to anchor, and I'm going to stick that over the top. And here I have got one 25cm cord and 6 75 to 80cm cords. That's the postman knocking on the door. Beg your pardon. Hello.
Hello, Tracy, home?
Yes.
Are you home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Who even knew the postman came on a Sunday? Right, so for the purposes, get straight back to it. For the purposes of this, we're going to take our 6 75 to 80cm. We're going to fold them all in half. We're going to find the middle, and we're going to do a normal lark's head knot, which means go down through and bring your cords up and cinch them. down through, because we're doing lark's heads. Hopefully this video will be available afterwards so you can re-watch it, slow it down, etc. If you are making a keyring but are having trouble keeping up. I'll go fairly slow for the first part of it, because after that, once you've done the first part, first sort of 5 or 6 rows, that's it. It's then just a repeat for as long as you want to make your keyring. Obviously the length of cords that I've given you is to make one that's the same size as what I'm doing here. If you want to make it shorter or longer, you can adjust the size of your cord. One of the most difficult things when you're just starting out is trying to figure out how long you need to make the cords, and it is a lot of trial and error, unfortunately. In general, I would say though, it probably tends to be longer than you think rather than shorter, just because you are doubling it, and once you start wrapping it around and stuff, it makes the cords really short. So, right, there's my 6 lark's head knots there. And what I'm going to do, just to keep everything where I want it, and that's the beauty of these boards, is I'm going to stick a pin in either side, and that'll keep it nice. That one's not really gone in very well. I'll try it again. There you go. Stick a pin, just keep it in place, so that it's easier to work on. Don't have to be perfect. So, right. So to start our keyring, we've got our cords all attached like so. What we're going to do initially is split them. So you've got a 3 and a 3. So to start with, we're going to be doing some double half hitch knots. And the way that we will do it is we are going to count in to the 3rd cord from the left here. And this is going to become a filler cord. And we're going to do a left diagonal like so. So you pick up the cord that's nearest to it, so cord number 2. We'll call these by numbers. Obviously we've got 6 cords times 2 is 12. So you pick up cord 2. You're going to hold that in the direction you want it. You're going to fold, do your double half hitch by folding over and then pushing under and up through, and bring it up. Keep the tension on the filler cord. There's 1. Do the same again. That's your double half hitch knot there, yeah? Then obviously we've still got this outside cord, so we need to do another double half hitch using this one. Keeping our filler cord in the direction we want it to go in. Do 1, go over, we'll come this way slightly, under and up through, two. So there we've got a 2 double half hitches. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go take the outside 3 cords on the right, and cord number 10, as it is going to come this way on the diagonal. It is going to again have double half hitch knots. So you go over with the cord under and through. Yeah, that was rubbish, wasn't it? Let's try that again. Do a better stab. Okay, so there's one, same again, over, under and through. Keep the tension on your filler cord. You want it, you know, roughly the same kind of angle as that one. Pick up cord 12, do a double half hitch knot. So that's over, through, there's one, and the second one, over, under and up through, and there's that one. So you now got two little lines going like so. And then, so we've used those 3 cords, and we've used those 3 cords, and that leaves us the 3 in the middle. So what we're going to do here is we're going to repeat, but in the opposite diagonal. So we've got chords 4, 5, 6, and we've got chords 7, 8, 9. So on chord 4 is going to go diagonal towards the centre, and that's going to be your filler chord. Then you are going to do a double half hitch using chord 5, over, you need to cinch that up to the top so that your pattern looks good. Do your second double half hitch up there, and then chord 6, do another double half hitch. Cinch it up. There we go. It's got a little V shape. Now we're going to repeat the same on this side. So we've got chords 7, 8, 9. Chord 9 is going to become a filler chord, and it's going to go in towards the centre. So you pick up chord 8 and do a double half hitch. So you go over the top, under and up through. When it gets, push it right up, and then repeat to make it the double, keeping the tension on your filler chord. Chord 7, repeat double half hitch. So over, under and up through. Same, over, under and up through. Right, now when you get to the middle, what you'll do is you will pick up, because we're already going in that direction, this will remain the filler chord. You will pick up the other chord, which is now chord 6, and you will do another double half hitch there, which will join those 2 points together. So there is the start of your key ring. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some square knots. Obviously, because of the way these are lying, you do need to kind of, you know, separate them so that you know which chords are which. Like those two could be very easily confused, but you can see those 3 are attached to that line of double half hitch. So there we're going to do some square knots, but what we're going to do is we're going to pick we're not going to use the outside cord on either side initially. So we're going to use cords 2 and 3 and cords 4 and 5. So the 2 center ones aren't going to be used, and the 2 outside ones aren't going to be used. And we're going to do a square knot. So center 2 of your filler, so I'll keep them between my 2 fingers here, and then I'm going to do square knot. And because there's going to be kind of alternating square knots, we're going to keep them all in the same direction. For me, I prefer left, so I'm going to start my square knot here, and I'm going to do, using cords 2, 3, 4, 5, over and under. Keep the tension on your filler cords, and then tighten these up. So I've done a left, so now I need to do a right. So over with that, bring this one over. I tend to stick my fingers through and grab it. I just find it easier. Hold the filler cords and tighten it up. So there's one square knot. We're going to repeat that over here. Those are the 2, there's my square knot. Those are the 2 center cords, they're not going to be used. There's the outside cord. I've got my 2 and my 2. So the center 2 will be the filler cords, and I'm going to do a left hand square knot. So we go over the top, bring this one over the top of them all, and then push it through and drag it up between there. Tighten up your square knot, keeping the tension on your filler cords so they stay nice and flat. And we finish that off with the right hand side. So over from the right, under, pull that one through, grab your ends, keep the tension on your filler cords, and do a square knot. Okay, so that's the next row finished. Then on the next row, we're going to discard the outside cords again. So we've got 2 on each side that are pushed off to the sides. And on this one, we're going to do not a traditional alternating square knot, because we're only dropping off 1 cord and normally we'd drop off 2. But you can see we've got 8 cords left. So we're going to do a square knot and a square knot. So middle 2 of the fillers, left hand cord over, right hand cord down, under and up through, hold your filler cords, cinch it up, do a right hand half square knot, down, under, up through, hold your filler cords, cinch it up. So that's that one done. And then on this one, same again, filler cords, start with the left, bring this cord down, push it under, come up through, and then hold your filler cords that keep the tension, cinch it up, do a right, down over the top, pull it through like so, tension on your filler cords. Okay, so there's another 2 square knots, slightly offset from those 2. Right, So now we're going to work on all the chords again, and this time we're going to take the far left chord 1. I'm going to use it. Can you see what's happening here? You're going to have another line, so this is going to end up like a little heart shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold this one down diagonally towards the centre, and then work one chord at a time to the centre by doing double half hitch knots. So over the top, push it under, pull it through, keep the tension on this filler chord, cinch it up. Do your second one, cinch it up. Next chord, same again, doing a double half hitch. Just wake the computer up, it's gone to sleep, just in case anybody's asking, but nobody is asking any questions. Okay, so we'll double half it. Oops, see what happened there when I didn't quite keep the tension? If you just pull it up like a knot without keeping the tension, it doesn't lie properly. You've got to keep the tension on your filler cord. Don't have to be super taut, but just make sure it can't bend, and make sure that the working cord does all the work. Clues in the name. And make sure it, it's the one that coils around. This one stays solid. So, and then the final one on this side is, oh, do you know what? I made a mistake. I'm going to pull these out. This is not going to, I'm just going to pull out those last two, because what I should have done actually, and I only need to pull out to there, because what I should have done before I did that down the side, should have done it after doing those 2 rows of square knots, should have done another square knot using the centre 4. So I'll just stick that in now quickly, because otherwise me double half hitch isn't going to lie properly. Do one more square knot. Oops. Yeah, that's better. I felt like something was missing. Right, so that's that. So how many chords have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. This is the filler chord, obviously. So then we need to use these 2. Because obviously there's 6 each side. So again, continue with the double half hitch knots on chords 5 and 6. So that's that side done. Then what we'll do is we'll pick up the far right chord, use this as the filler to come down this way, and then double half hitch again. You're always doing your hitch in towards the on the inside of the knot. So there's 1, 2, next 1, 2, 1, 2, and again, because we are meeting up in the middle, we will keep that one as the fill. That's come undone. It wasn't cinched up properly, clearly. Keep this as fill cord and add another double half hitch, keeping the tension on your filler cord. So there is one heart. Don't know what is going on with this top. It does not want to stay still. So you can adjust it about. Now we're going to effectively just repeat what we've just done. We've got one little heart there. So we're going to start with the same thing again. So on the right back to the top, we want to make that V shape. So we're going to take the third cord from the left, we're going to bring it out to the left to get out the top of our heart. Now obviously, because they're higher, because they're coming down this double half hitch, there is going to be a little bit of slack there. That's fine. You don't have to cinch it up. It wouldn't look right if you did. So what you do is just get it to the point where it looks tidy, like that, and then make sure that you lock that double half hitch in with your second thing. On this one, obviously, it's going to be a longer because you want to come out diagonally. So that's fine. It's just going to be a little loop at the side of your work. Right, did you see that? Keep the tension on the filler cord. Cinch it up and lock it in place. So there's those three. These three, we're going to do the same, but it's the other point of your V. Oh no, it's not. I'm lying. Ignore me. Because you've already got the bottom of that heart becomes the top of that heart, you don't need to do the bottom of the V. So we're only going to be working on, you take the third cord in from the right, pull it down, diagonally to the right. This is your filler cord, keep the tension, do a couple of double half hitch knots. Yeah, that wasn't right. Let's try it again. Okay. Filler cord always stays on top. Working cord comes from underneath. That's better. And then again, try and match the length of this loop to the side to the same as that one. Double half hitch. Okay, so there you've got your top of your heart. And what we want to do is the same as we did up here, and we're going to put the square knots in. So you discard the outer two cords and you take those four and those four and ignore the center two cords. We're not going to be using them. Square knot. I'm going to speed up a little bit now because obviously it is just a repeat of what we did before. If you want to go back and watch the video again, hopefully it will be available. apparently the crochet one is not playing properly, so I'll need to check that out after this. So yeah, square knot there. Ignore the center two, ignore the outside one, filler cords, square knot, cinch that up. So we've done that row, and on this next one, if you remember, we discard those outside two. Then we take those 4 and those 4 and square knot. Oh, those 4, and square knot. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Right. So basically, there was nothing new. You're basically just repeating what you did there. So we're doing a row there using cords 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8, 9, 10, 11 with 1 string discarded either side. So basically, then nothing new. You're basically just repeating what you did there. So we're doing a row there using cords. Don't know why the volume's come on. I'm sure I don't. And then you discard an extra one for the next row and use the center 8 cords and make 2 square knots. And then again, this time we won't forget to do that one. This time we'll discard the outside 2 of each one, like that. So we're going with the center 4 and we'll do 1 more square knot. Keeping the tension on the filler cords. There, so you've got 2, 2, 1 square knots. And then to finish this one off, all you would need to do is you're going to bring these outside cords down using your half hitches again. Now, and then that's where we're going to finish for this particular keyring, apart from gathering it at the bottom, which I'll show you when we get there. So if you wanted to stop after 1 heart, you can. If you want to add another heart, obviously you'll need to, you can see some of these cords are getting quite short now. If you want to add another heart, you need to add a bit of length onto your cords. And you can kind of figure it out. About 80 centimetres does 2 hearts. So if you want a 3rd heart, make them about 120 centimetres type of thing. So that's 5. And then the last one on this side. Right, so that's that side done. And we'll do the same on this side. Fill a cord round like this. Keep the tension on that. cinch it up. Double half hitch. And as usual, you finish all the ones on that side and all the ones on that side, and we're gonna attach these together. So that's it. So we're kind of at the end now. When you are finishing off MACRAME key rings, there are options here. When you're doing those double half hitches on the last row, what you can do, and I'll just briefly show you on this side as an alternative, if you don't want everything bunched up at the bottom, what you can do is start your double half hitching. I'm going to do them very loose because I want to pull them out once I've finished. Start your double half hitch, and then you don't want that cord sticking out the side now. So what you're going to do is you're going to put it into your hand as another filler cord. Pick up your next cord and work around both cords and double half hitch again. And then again, you don't want that sticking out, so you're going to grab that, add it to the bunch in your hand, double half hitch, add it to the bunch, pick up the next cord. I think I might just leave this because it's going to be too fiddly to unpick. Double half hitch, make sure you're cinching them up. As you can see, obviously there's more filler cords, so it is going to get a bit fatter as you go down the line, but it is an alternative. Add that one to the list. Last one. Double half hitch. There. So you can see the difference. That's just kind of uniform width. This one is a bit more conical, a bit more tubular. So that's how, if you don't want all these bits sticking outside, to get everything to come out into a nice point at the bottom. Now, if you're not bothered about that, what you could do at this point is literally just grab all those threads and all those threads, had they not been double half hitched, and do your gathering knot. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat that process on this side now, just because I've done it on that side, just to keep things uniform. So filler cord, double half hitch, add this one to the filler cord, so you've now got two filler cords. Double half hitch around both. Add it to the pile. Next cord. Add that one to the pile. Next cord. add that onto the pile, and the final cord. One last double half hitch, and there you have it. So now all that is left, you've got your 2 hearts, and obviously on mine I've got a little bit of a chunky bottom in more ways than one. So now all that's left to do is a gathering knot. So for a gathering knot you need, you know, probably about 8 inches, 10 inches of cord, depending on how much gathering there is to do. And the way to do it is to stick up. You need to make a loop, basically, part way up, and lie the loop. What I am going to do, because I prefer to do it, is I'm going to turn it over so that the loop is on the wrong side, effectively. So what you do is you lie your loop up and pinch all those threads, including both ends of your gathering knot, and then you wrap around. Make a decision in advance how many wraps you want, and keep it quite tight, but lie the cord next to itself. Don't overlap it. Make it a nice sort of side by side, if you like. Oh, I've gone the wrong way, sorry. You need to, whichever way you're wrapping, it needs, your loose end needs to be in the direct, oh, what have I done? Managed to completely tiddle that up. Right, yeah, once your cord's laying up like that, what you need to do is make sure that your loose end of your, I'm going to start again. That's probably really just confused everybody. So right, we're on the wrong side. We're going to make a loop and pinch. Doesn't have to stick up a long way. Then we're going to start the wrap. Now the wrap has to come in the direction this loose end needs to be at the same side as where the loop is. So you can do it the other way around. The loop could be down here or it can be up there. It doesn't really matter. Wrap the cord round side by side like this. Don't worry about particularly about where it is on the fringe, because you can adjust that later. Right, so we've wrapped it. Now what we're going to do is push this loose end through the loop and hold it like that. Then get the other end of your cord. Yeah, which one is it? See, normally I have a lot longer ends. No. Just gently tug them all. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that. There you go. So that is my cord, right? So poke the loose end through the loop, hold on to the loose end, drag the other end of this cord until it has pulled that loop inside, and then once it is, pull on both sides to tighten it. Now this bit you can just cut it off, and there's your wrap. Then all you need to do is pull each individual bit of cord that's sticking out the bottom gently, you'll feel when it's kind of, when the tension's kind of right. Turn it over. See that? You can see that adjusting. There we are. A nice tidy wrap knot. And then, obviously, in this particular case, that's the shortest bit of thread that I've got left. So all you need to do, and you can cut this off at whatever length you want. You don't have to make it that long. You can make it shorter if you want to. You can either leave it like that, or you can separate it out using a comb, for example. I'm using the cat comb here. Just comb it out. Oh, it's got tapped. There you go. And there you have it. One macrame keyring. 2 love hearts. There. With the combed out fringe. And let's say you can trim that to whatever length you like. So that's it. That's it for this session. We're going to do another macrame keyring tomorrow, but I'll change up the design so that, you know, there's 2 different videos to watch in case somebody wants to try another one in a different pattern. But that is literally square knots, double half hitch knots, and lark's head knots, which is the majority of macrame patterns, plus a wrapping knot to finish. So hope that's been useful for everyone. I'm going to stop now because I'm getting a frog in my throat. And the video hopefully will be available to watch later. And I'll be back on tomorrow with another exciting episode. Alright, cheerio for now. Bye girls. Bye.